Hello, everybody. This is Joshua with KI5SIJ, all things ham radio, batteries, and more. In this video, we're going to talk about something that's not related to ham radio. It's not related to batteries, but it is related to technology. And I have a lot of folks that I network with that are in the technology sector, as well as friends that are in the ham radio hobby who also have a background in technology or may find the information in this video helpful. Today, what I'm going to talk about is technology called KVM over IP. Now, if you're a system admin or somebody who manages systems remotely, or maybe a server administrator who manages servers remotely, you'll be familiar with this technology. Some of the higher end Dell servers include what they call a DRAC card, which is a Dell Remote Assistance Card, I believe is what it stands for. HP includes the high-low or the lights out card, which allows you to do what I'm talking about. Even systems and data centers that use the super micro servers, they have what they call IPMI, which they all pretty much do the same thing. For those of you that are not system admins or do not have a background in technology or IT, I'll explain what this is. So most everybody's familiar with remote desktop access or software platforms that allow you to remote into computers and servers remotely. That technology is used for remote support, customer service, or even anyone who travels who may need to get into a home PC to get something off of it or whatnot. But as system admins, sometimes we have to remotely manage servers, and there are times we have to perform maintenance and reboot these servers. And at times we have the need to be able to get into the BIOS level, that is the settings level of the hardware before the system ever boots. The problem with that is all these software platforms like LogMeIn and Splashtop and TeamViewer and VNC and all those type of remote desktop technologies, they only work as long as you are booted up to the desktop. They do not provide remote capabilities from a hardware level standpoint. In this video, I'm going to be discussing a cheap and pretty easy way how to make a IP-based KVM using a Raspberry Pi and a kit that I found online. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I love using Raspberry Pis for different things. We have all-star nodes that run on top of Raspberry Pi devices. We use Raspberry Pis to do a variety of different things. So I am a big fan of the Raspberry Pi devices. Finding this video was recorded in September of 2023. The Raspberry Pi devices have been hard to get for quite some time. However, starting about a month ago, they're starting to come back into mainstream reselling markets, and you can actually find them a little easier. The prices are still between 60 and 75 bucks, but I have been reading and I'm hearing that the prices on this is going to continue to drop, and there are some newer Raspberry Pi models, I believe, going to be coming out pretty soon, which they hope will be sold at a lower price point. Moving along, what I want to do is I'll start off by showing you the kit that I bought. And hopefully I've explained what the kit does. Before I go into showing you the kit, I'll explain what I am going to use this for. I actually manage servers in the cloud. I manage servers at home as well. My servers that are in the cloud already have IPMI or remote access from the hardware level to where I can remotely reboot my servers. I can get in and make changes to the hardware and boot settings, and then they can boot up into Windows and resume normal operations. However, I actually build custom servers at home using just regular desktop hardware. And whenever you do that, generally you do not have that type of remote capability built into like a regular desktop PC. So by buying a Raspberry Pi and one of these Raspberry Pi KVM kit, I'm able to actually mimic that same type of technology and actually connect that to my servers here at the house and get the same type of functionality so I can remotely admin those servers here at the house whenever I'm not here. If you have not already done so, now is a great time to click that subscribe button below. Please take a few moments and click the subscribe button, and feel free to leave us any comments regarding this video. All right, so I'll go ahead and show you the kit that I bought. It's $83 or 84 bucks. You can get it on Amazon. I will be sharing the link to this in the description of the video. The link I'll be providing will be an Amazon affiliate link. It provides you all the components except for the Raspberry Pi SD card and the power supply. I already had a Raspberry Pi 4 Model B with an SD card and a power supply to use for this project, so I am set. All right, so I bought this kit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you a video of a time lapse of me actually assembling the kit. And I'm going to kind of narrate it here, and let's see how this works out. GeekWorm KVM-A3. GeekWorm KVM-A3. All right, included is a Cat5e cable. This is a USB-C to USB cable, which you'll use to connect the device to your PC. There's the switches and the cables to connect your switches inside your PC. And here are all the different components included in the kit. Alrighty, yeah, it was a little LED screen, some heat sinks, and the case. All right, and like I previously mentioned, it does not include the Raspberry Pi for this project. It does require a Raspberry Pi 4. A Raspberry Pi 4 is required for this project. All right, so what you're looking at here is a little card that you will put inside of your PC, and you connect your power switch, your power LED light, your reset switch, and your hard drive light through that little board. You connect it from the motherboard into that expansion card, and then from the expansion card to the actual switches and lights. It kind of injects. It allows you to kind of pass those signals through that board, and that board connects to this KVM through that yellow Cat5 cable that you see up on the screen. That connects to the Raspberry Pi KVM box, and you can actually turn the computer on and off, reboot it. You can basically see the status of the lights on your computer using that card that you put inside of your PC. All right, what I'm looking at here is the little LED screen that goes on this device. Once you build it, it kind of gives you some stats and some information. All right, we're gonna get ready to put this together. I went to go grab my Raspberry Pi 4 here. Just making sure it looks good to go. It already had heat sinks on it, so we're good to go there. Just taking a quick look at the manual here, making sure I didn't miss anything obvious. And as you'll see, I did. I actually put a part together out of sequence, and I had to take it off. But here we go. We're going to start off by putting this little ribbon cable. This ribbon cable connects into the port. I believe that port's sometimes used for a Raspberry Pi camera, but it also can be used for other types of HDMI inputs, and that's what it's going to be used for in this case. So we'll push this ribbon cable in. Make sure you lock that ribbon cable into place by pushing that black piece of plastic down. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to install the standoffs. Now there's 4 long standoffs. Those will be installed on top of the Pi. Then there's 4 short standoffs. Those will be installed on the bottom of the Raspberry Pi. And you'll see why. That has to do with the way it mounts inside the case. So to get the short standoffs, you'll need to take the small enclosure apart, because it has some screws in a bag inside of there. So I'm going to take it apart right quick and get the bag of parts out of there right quick. All right, we're taking it apart. Yep, I took 4 screws out, thought that was it. There's actually 8 screws needed to take that case apart. So we're going to take that case apart. I have 1 screw that didn't want to come out. That's okay. We kind of encouraged it here. All right, almost. All right, we got it apart. The little bag right there had the short standoffs in it. Just kind of getting all the screws and parts organized here. So now we're going to take the little short standoffs and we're going to go ahead and get them installed on the bottom of the board. All right, so I got the 4 short standoffs. You're going to just kind of put them in the holes, the mounting holes of the Raspberry Pi. And I just set them in there and I kind of held them in with my hand and flipped the board upside down. Just held them in and flipped it upside down. And then you screw the tall standoffs into the threads of the short standoffs. So now we're going to get ready to go ahead and put the next piece together. And this is where I kind of messed up. I put things together out of order. But you'll see. I'll figure it out in a minute. This is the benefit of doing it live. So doing it for the first time, doing it live, you get to see me mess up. And who knows? No telling who else might make the same mistake. I don't know, but hopefully you learn from my mistake here in the video. But yeah, I mounted that little board on there before I actually mounted the big board to the Raspberry Pi, and that messed it up. Well, it didn't mess it up. I couldn't screw. I couldn't fasten that big board to the Raspberry Pi standoff doing it this way. You got to take that big board and mount it to the standoffs first on the Raspberry Pi and then put the little board in place. Yep, just pointing out the screw holes there. All right, and this is where I'm going to figure it out here in a second. There's a little slot through the board. Just make sure that cable runs through that slot. That ribbon cable runs up through that slot. Line it all up. The GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, they line up with that. Push it down, make sure it seats properly. And get ready to start screwing everything in. And this is where I realize, it, that screw goes underneath that little card that's sitting on top. Yep, yep. I got to take that little board off. Hopefully everybody's laughing at my at my mistake here, because I am now watching it. I'm thinking, oh man. But yeah, this is how it goes sometimes when you're putting stuff together for the first time. I'm like, oh, maybe I can slip the screw underneath. No, no, that don't work either. You got to pull the little board completely off. All right, now we can do what we need to do. There we go. Now we're going to put her back together. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the little ribbon cable. I'll pull the little lever out that fastens it in, push the cable in, and then close that lever cable latch there. All right, so that's good to go. The next step is to install the little LED display screen. And then I realized it looks like they got a little component there for a battery or something there. And so I start looking through the paperwork. I'm like, maybe I missed a piece. Maybe I didn't. I didn't see anything like a battery that fits there. So I decided to go ahead and continue putting it together. I'm not sure if maybe a different application for this board calls for some sort of battery. I don't know if it's maybe a clock battery or something, but in this particular kit, that's not included. So I'm guessing it's not needed. We'll find out toward the end of the video. And like I said, this is my first one putting together. So um, I'm all new to this particular kit, this design. So we're going to go ahead and continue putting it together and see what happens. Screwing the little LED screen onto the mounts. 2 screws hold it into place. Took the little plastic off the screen. Getting ready to test fit this, and I realized I never put the 2 screws on the top side of the big card to the tall standoffs on the Raspberry Pi. I end up fixing that too. But I'm trying to figure out what the placement, how you get that in this case. It actually just slides from the side. Yep. So them short standoffs on bottom of the board should line up with the holes on the bottom of that case. You go ahead and use the little screws provided and screw the case into those standoffs on the bottom of the Pi. And sorry for the lighting here. I know it's kind of hard to see with my black table and the black case there. Hopefully next time I'll have a better lighting situation. All right, so we got the Pi fastened to the lower portion of the case there. Just making sure everything's good and tight. All right, now, and this is where I realized I forgot the other 2 screws on the top. Go ahead and put those in. I gotten my attention got diverted whenever I had to take that little board off and and put the screw underneath it. Totally got my mojo and got me distracted. Forgot to finish what I was doing on that. All right, so now I think it's pretty much put together now. We're just going to go ahead and slip the top cover on it. Just giving it a final inspection there. Top cover fits on it real nice and neat. There's 2 screws on each side that hold that cover on. And there's 4 screws on top. All right, so now that we got this thing put together, the next step is we need to take the SD card for the Raspberry Pi and we need to program that for this load for the Raspberry Pi KVM. So I'm going to show you right quick what I'm going to use to do that. So I'm just giving the unit an overall look over right there. You have reached the end of the Raspberry Pi KVM assembly video. There is a part 2 to this video which explains the programming of the SD card and actually getting that loaded and configured for use with the Raspberry Pi KVM. Please look for part 2. If you have not already done so, now is a great time to click that subscribe button below. Please take a few moments and click the subscribe button, and feel free to leave us any comments regarding this video.